Invest in success with Pub Quiz Prep. The education you want, the education you deserve.
Well, welcome to 2019 Pub Quiz Prep, and thank you so much for joining me. Now, I have had a special request, so I'm going to do another knockout round today. But Matt did send through a special request if we could please do a Led Zeppelin knockout round. Well, why not? Let's jump straight on in. You know how this works now. Question number 1. In what country did Led Zeppelin form? In what country did Led Zeppelin form? You might notice over my shoulder here, we have a guitar that was not played by Led Zeppelin ever. It's a left-handed guitar, as you can see, about 3/4 size. Question number 2. Before we get to question number 2, I have just gotten back from a swim at Northbridge Baths. Now, I don't know if anyone watching has ever swum there before, but if you live in Sydney or if you're visiting Sydney, you might have driven past the Northbridge Baths sign for about the last 30 years, but never turned left to check it out. I highly recommend checking it out. An absolutely delightful place, although one of my friends has mentioned occasionally you can get a little bit of sea lice there. Okay, well, let's just move on, shall we? Question 2. Name one of the members of Led Zeppelin. Name one of the members of Led Zeppelin. I don't need them all, just one. Question number 3. So, here we go. Released in 1971, what Led Zeppelin song was listed at number 31 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time? Now, please do not overthink this one. You may have expected it to rank a little bit higher, but it didn't. So, released in 1971, what Led Zeppelin song was listed at number 31 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time? Question 4. What is the name of Led Zeppelin's second album? What is the name of Led Zeppelin's second album? Question number 5. Which of these songs was released first? Immigrant Song, Gallows Pole, Misty Mountain Hop, or Heartbreaker? So which of these songs was released first? Immigrant Song, Gallows Pole, Misty Mountain Hop, or Heartbreaker? Now, they're all terrific. Question number 6. What is the name of Led Zeppelin's 8th and final studio album? What is the name of Led Zeppelin's 8th and final studio album? How you going? Do you reckon you're still in? Question number 7. Which member of the band Genesis was a drum-in guest of Led Zeppelin in 1985? That question again. So, which member of the band Genesis was a drum-in guest of Led Zeppelin in 1985? Question number 8, the anti-penultimate question. In September of what year did John Bonham die? In September of what year did John Bonham die? Question number 9, so how old was Jimmy Page when he first started playing guitar? How old was Jimmy Page when he first started playing guitar? Now, if you don't know the answer to this question, you might be a little bit surprised by the answer if I could just tease out that little bit of a clue for you. So if you're going to take a guess, that clue again, the answer might surprise you. So how old was he when he first started playing guitar? Question number 10. Before changing their name to Led Zeppelin, what was the band's original name? So before chancing upon the name Led Zeppelin and going with that, what did they call themselves originally? As always, just take a moment to finalize your answers. Now remember, the moment you get one wrong in a knockout round, that's when you get knocked out. So whatever your total point score is at that moment, that's your total score, and that's what you get. Don't forget to write your results in the comments below. Oh, and just before we do get onto the whole marking side of things, I just had a thought. I would love to have a subscriber with the surname Berkelo. So if you have any friends or acquaintances, or just if you wanted to kind of randomly text someone, I don't know if you can do that, or message them through some kind of social media platform. But anyhow, if you do know anyone with the surname of Berkelo, I would love for them to subscribe. So maybe that could be the goal for the year. Find a subscriber with the surname Berkelo. If you could help me out, that would be just terrific. Okay, here come the answers. I do digress. So in what country did Led Zeppelin form? They formed in England. Name one of the members of Led Zeppelin. You could have given me Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, or John Bonham. Question 3. Released in 1971, what Led Zeppelin song was listed at number 31 by Rolling Stone on their top 500 greatest songs of all time? That was Stairway to Heaven. Can you believe it? Only number 31. What is the name of Led Zeppelin's second album? Well, ironically enough, it's called Led Zeppelin 2. So, which of the songs was released first out of the Immigrant Song, Gallows Pole, Misty Mountain Hop, and Heartbreaker? That was Heartbreaker. And what a classic it is. What is the name of Led Zeppelin's 8th and final studio album? In Through the Outdoor. Now, if you got that right, if you're still in the game, if I were wearing a hat, I would take it off. Which member of the band Genesis was a drumming guest of Led Zeppelin in 1985? Now, if you could list any member of Genesis, you're going to be pretty close. If you list the wrong one, well, too bad. But it was Phil Collins. And I guess the clue there was he was the drumming guest, so maybe it wasn't quite as difficult as maybe I first thought. Okay, so in September of what year did John Bonham die? 1980. How old was Jimmy Page when he first started playing guitar? Get this, he was 12 years old. So for any of you 11-year-olds out there watching, it might be time to pick up a guitar and start learning. You too could become the next Led Zeppelin guitarist. Well, okay, you can't become the next Led Zeppelin guitarist, but what I'm trying to say is you could become a famous guitarist, right? Okay, let's move on. Question number 10. Before changing their name to Led Zeppelin, what was the band's original name? Now, don't get confused by this. Their original name was the New Yardbirds. Now, that kind of came out of a band previously known as the Yardbirds. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with that. If you got it right, that's great. Probably not many people did, so let's not bore everyone else with the details of that one. Thanks so much for playing. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching and filling your days with learning trivia and really extending yourself and trying to be the best version of you that you possibly can be. But until next time, have a great week.
Take control of your trivia training and subscribe to Pub Quiz Prep today.
Thank you for playing Pub Quiz Prep. Question everything.